I think this is really now, this being a permanent fixture in the code, us already knowing all the rules from the first go around. I mean, there are still some gray areas, but it's, I think, going to be a lot more viable this time. Also, the economic environment in the world, is changing too.
And then do you guys help vet out some, if it's going to like a larger fund, is that something where you can say, hey, we've had experience with this group, or how do you, how does somebody do research on something like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. We don't do due diligence on like investments. So that I think, I think people have to either rely on their, advisors besides us, as far as due diligence on whether that investment makes sense. Like obviously we can help, review operating agreements and like make sure our clients understand.
Make sure the time frames are working and all that stuff.
Yeah, and like, advise them in that and advise them around their own personal, kind of planning, and does this fit within, your long-term planning, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
And can you give like an example of a story of maybe a client that went through, exiting out and going into an opportunity zone and kind of what happened?
Yeah. No, I have one that's kind of further along than some of them that I think is, highlights kind of all the compelling benefits, right? Is closely held family, sells a property, has another property lined up. They actually had the land. So like, depending on how you do them, there's like a whole bunch of details in like measuring what qualifies and stuff. But like if you have land that's not super valuable, and you could actually like have already owned that, there's an original use. Typically you have to buy stuff, but they actually had the land, and like based on the numbers, it was okay to just contribute the land and build on that land, and they still qualified and everything. So they had this project all queued up, roll it into this new deal. They completed, did a cost seg, got a ton of deductions, and then they refied, were able to take some cash out. Now they're going to go recognize in 26, but they've already gotten deductions that are probably rolling forward to help offset that.
Wow.
Plus they have cash if they have any tax liability, right? Now they're going to hold it long term, and they're going to, tax-free exit one day.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they could, because I know on existing 1031s, it's tough if you already own the land. So they were able to make this thing work by doing something like that.
Exactly, yeah. If you own the land, there's more planning involved. You have to really look at the numbers. You can do kind of a land lease, self-rental kind of deal there, or you can contribute if the numbers work. But it certainly is a little more complicated.